Hi guys, here we are again. So again, by the title, I'm sure you have some idea, at least a little idea. But I've been doing a lot of crazy, intense dark colors or crazy eyeshadow looks recently. So I wanted to kind of skirt and go back. I am by no means a makeup artist. I am actually somebody who up until like 2 or 3 years ago did not wear eyeshadow. Because I didn't know how. It scared me, it made me nervous, and I mean, if you're like me, the only time I was really thinking of doing eyeshadow, or if I was doing my makeup in general or at all, was when I would be going out. So I like couldn't risk trying to put eyeshadow on my face and it not working out, and then having to wash all of my makeup off, and I tend to get ready late, and I didn't want that to happen, so I was always nervous. But I started watching YouTube videos. I started watching YouTube videos that really intrigued me about eyeshadow, but it really scared me. Again, I didn't want to really spend money on products in case it didn't work or I wasn't crazy about it, and I just didn't want to look like an idiot. I was the girl who wore mascara and maybe eyeliner, and that was good enough for me. So diving into the eyeshadow world was scary. So because of that, I really wanted to do this simple, I'm calling it a smoky eye, but it's like a simple, natural, everyday eye, but it is great for beginning steps of a smoky eye. I mean, this is essentially 4 eyeshadows that I use. Actually, not essentially. Pretty much 4 eyeshadows, I think 3 brushes. So it makes it easy, and it's a little bit no fuss, no mess. And this is how I started doing smoky eyes or eyeshadow looks. So it worked for me. So if it worked for me, I thought it might be able to work for those of you out there who are scared of eyeshadow but want to dive into the world. I feel like I'm rambling and I should stop. But again, I just wanted this to be more informative, and I know there are a lot of people in my life who I wear these crazy eyeshadow looks and they're like, I just don't know how to do eyeshadow. And I've been there. So since I've been there, I kind of wanted to do this light, easy, neutral, everyday smoky eye with some tips. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. And if you like it, comment, subscribe, thumbs up. I mean, I'll even take a thumbs down. I'll take a chubby, a half C. I don't know. I just hope, or just get something out of this. I'm probably that person who watches YouTube videos and doesn't comment either. Alright. I should be back. Alright, thanks guys. Hope you enjoy. You can see I already have my face done, and I am going to just start with the colors that I first started with. Well, at least some of them that I definitely remember I started with. But I first made like my dedicated attempt to start eyeshadow. I got a couple Makeup Geek shadows, and that's just from watching people on YouTube. That's how I learned how to do makeup. So the definite first 2 that I've always used, and you will know just by probably if you watch on YouTube, but also the fact that these are all really well worn. So first is Peach Smoothie, and as you can see, I'm hitting pan on it. And the second one is Creme Brulee. These are the first 2 colors we will go in with. Specifically, I'm going to go in first with Peach Smoothie. If you are afraid of eyeshadow at all, this is a perfect shade. As you can see, it's pretty much my skin tone, but just a little bit peachier. Normally now what I use is I take my, and you will have seen it a million times, my Morphe MB23, which is just a great big fluffy blending brush. When I first started, I believe I was using, which I show these all the time, I had bought a kit on Amazon that was $10 or $12 that has like flat top kabuki brushes, it has under eyes, and it had some eyeshadow brushes, and it had like these, just like a big fluffy brush, which really works. For this first shade, we are just trying to really match our lids and then maybe just darken a little bit, just prep the eye to start for those darker colors. I highly suggest going with the Amazon ones. They are cheap, and if you like end up not liking it, you don't feel like you waste a lot of money. And I mean, I have Prime, so it's quick. But again, in that color, I'm just going to dip this in. There is excess. dust it off. And this is all over the lid, in crease, and above the crease. So I will go in with this color a couple of times. But hopefully you can see when I open my eye up the difference between this one and that one. I do also want to say I did not bake under my eyes, but if this is your first time using eyeshadow, and if you're going in with some colors that might make you nervous, I suggest just like heavily baking with white powder under your eye, and that way if you have any fallout, you can just brush it off when you are done. And then I'm just going to do the same thing on the next eye. And now that we have our first transition color in, we're going to move on to that Creme Brulee. I'm using a same blending brush, so whatever works for you if you had your Amazon one or whatever. And I am doing almost the exact same thing as I did that first time. I am going to focus this slightly, and I mean like uno momento slightly more in the crease and below. I will go above the crease, but I won't be as sloppy maybe as that first color. And I say maybe because sometimes I am. So I'm going to take Creme Brulee. And again, I told you I'm focusing that definitely outer corner of the eye, just mixing it around, crease, and then I will go, like open my eye and see that's a little beyond. And maybe as you have less product, or as I might blend up higher. And as you can see, it's a very slight, minimal difference from just with peach smoothie to with creme brulee. And now we're just going to do the same thing on that other eye. Okay, next, before we go in with the darker color that we'll use on the outer edge, you will see a lot of smoky eyes, or the stereotypical smoky eyes, have a lighter color in the center of the eye, the inner corner of the eye to like the center of the eye before it might smoke out into those darker colors. So when you're doing this lighter version, easier smoky eye, you want to essentially do the same thing as you then work to build a bigger smoky eye. But I'm going to show you a couple shades that you could use for that. For the purpose of this video, I am just going to go in. This is the Morphe 35K. I'm going in with this first row, this color. So you see it's a very light neutral shimmery color. There are two other colors that I have like mainly probably over the last year when I do a neutral light eye like this I go in with. I'm only not doing that in this video because they're ColourPop Super Shock shadows and I didn't feel like messing around with my finger in this video and sticking on my eye. But these are great. They're in Fringe and Girly. Fringe, I've hit pan on, that's how you know. Again, it's just like that shadow I just showed you in the Morphe one. Just a light neutral shimmery tone. The ColourPop Super Shock Shadow and Girly, this is like even better. I love this one. It's almost like a duochrome, so it's white, but if you can see, there's like pink gold shift. So this is great as that color that's in your inner corner of the eye to the center that blends out into the smoky eye. For the purpose of this video, and for the color I'm using on the Morphe, I am just going to go in with one of my Eco Tools. This is a dual-sided edge brush. And if you can see, it's a pretty skinny, flat. It's good for packing on shadows. Let's put it that way. So this is where you could spray this with Fix Plus if you want to intensify that shimmer shadow. I do that with pretty much any shimmer shadow that I put on the middle or the center of my eye. So I will do it for this. You don't have to. I'm just at the point now where I've done it so much I would feel awkward if I didn't. So I'm just going to pick up some of that. And starting at the inner corner, I'm just going to pat it out. Actually, I'm going to swipe it out. So I'm going to take this almost completely to the outer edge of my eye. This is because when we go in with that darker color that we're going to use to smoke out the edge of the eye, we want it to smoke out and really blend it into this lighter shimmer color. So I try to bring it a little bit farther than Then you want it when you blend out, so that way I want to put the dark color over it, and then I'll blend the two. Before I move on to the other eye, you can see it really helps brighten up that eye look too. Alright, so now that both eyes have the shimmer shadow on, I did go back a little bit. I always, as I'm on my second eye, I seem to go back and always like touch up the first eye because one always looks better. So after I put that on, the shimmer shade, I would grab that same blending brush I put the first two colors on, and with no additional product, I will blend again just to then make sure there's not like a definitive between the two. Okay, so then I just have the Morphe 35K here. I am going to use this brown shade. So again, you could use that brown shade, that brown shade, that brown, that. We're just smoking out the outer V of her eye. I'm going in with that one. Honestly, if this is your first time doing this, or if you're iffy, use a bronzer color or a contour color or a brown you have that like is like that or like any of these surrounding, you know, matte brown colors, and you'll be fine. It's, if you just want to try it first, that's what I would recommend doing. I'm going to use, so normally now I always use the Morphe ND13. Well, I'm actually going to use the e.l.f. for this purpose. But I will take that brown. I'm going to go with the e.l.f. brush. And this is where I'm going to pack on this outer V. I want to stop there. As you can see, it's not clean cut, it's not defined. Going with a little bit more product. Keeping it all pats on the outer V. And then I will start swiping it a little up in that crease. This is just like a continue like blend until you're happy. It's like one movement. I swipe the color in and then I'll blend up. You know, swipe the color in and blend up. When I feel like that, I like that, I will go here and swipe between where the two colors meet. Back and forth. I will say, when I look at this, I think it looks very unblended between the transition and that color. Don't worry, we will go back in and we're going to blend that out. And then the other eye. Then I will take the first blending brush, and this is how I was saying it might look a little bit muddy. It's okay. No product on this, or if maybe you went too heavy-handed and you want to dip back in with some transition color to clean it up, you can do that. I will say, if you look, I feel like I have a little bit of fallout or, you know, an unclean eye. The thing to do is you can take any type of brush. You can take a beauty blender, and I'm going to go in with some translucent powder. Just pushing that into my beauty blender, and I'm going to stamp it right there. And take a big fluffy brush. I should have done this beforehand and stamped it out. But if you didn't, and you did it after like I did, no bigs. And then when I wipe that away, not only do we cut out a little V there, but I'm able to clean up any fallout without any problemos. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to just put some mascara on, a little bit of eyeliner, probably just in my waterline, actually. And I will, and a lips, and I will be right back. Alright, so you can see I finished up the eyes. I just put on some mascara. You don't need falsies. This is a very casual look. And then I just went ahead and lined my waterline with NYX Slide On, Glide On, Stay On, and definitely a Turn On. Is you? Who's you turning on? These are the finished product for the eye. Oh, pause. Actually, okay. Before we finish this look and I conclude the video, I will say that I would going to put on brown bow highlight and then an inner corner highlight too. I actually do like using the lid color we use or whatever you use to highlight up there as well. So now the eyes would be done. I hope you like this. I hope this was at least a little helpful. And how do you end these? Alright, my peeps, my people, interweb, my hair's a mess. I apologize. I hope you enjoyed, And see you soon.